welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be stepping outside of our Sims 4 comfort zone and checking out other similar games that I think you might like. So this video is for the Sims 4 players, but it's for the players who are maybe looking for something a little different to play. I'm going to be breaking it down into different categories, so whether you're a builder, maybe you like the life simulation parts, maybe you're looking for quest-oriented gameplay, you like challenges. I've got a bunch of different recommendations for you, so definitely let me know down below if you've played any of these and if you have any more suggestions. I'm also really excited to be showing you a few of the different games that I am playing and really enjoying at the moment. We're actually going to jump into the gameplay in my personal save files, so let's jump right in. Okay, let's start off with the life simulation category. So these are for players who like the day-to-day tasks of The Sims 4. We're gonna start with one that you probably already know, but I wanna quickly mention it, INZOI. Jump straight into INZOI. This is a save file that I have been playing for content. I've got a couple videos on INZOI, actually. I'll leave a few linked down below. But it is a life simulation game. It is very different to The Sims 4, but in all sense of the word life simulation game, it is. One of the main differences is that it's open world, so your Zoe can leave their apartment or their home and just walk around the map and explore. There is so much to do on this map. You've got so many lots to visit, from arcades, karaoke booths, parks, fishing supply store, there's a photo studio, medical center, a resale store, convenience store, tarot fortune cafe, outdoor wedding venues. I mean, there's a lot to explore, and this is actually only one of 3 maps that you can visit. So there's a city map, which is Doan, the one I'm in now, Bliss Bay, which is inspired by LA, and I've just forgot the other one, but it's a beach. It's a new DLC actually that just came out. I'm actually gonna go home so that I can show you a little bit more of what the life simulation part is like. And this is her apartment. So I actually also did this for a YouTube video, but the building of this apartment was so much fun. Building is also a category INZOI is going to feature in this video, but as you can see, it's just super realistic. Oh, we have a broken sink. Quickly before moving on though, I want to mention the careers in this game, for the most part, are all playable. I do love that part of INZOI. The careers are super detailed. They have their own venues, employees, colleagues. Love the career part. Okay, the next game in the life simulation category is actually not even out yet, but it is out very soon. I think you know which one I'm gonna mention, and that is Paralives. I'm gonna put up a little trailer of Paralives so you can get an idea of how it's gonna look. I think this is gonna be a great contender in the life simulation category. It's gonna be very different to The Sims 4 and INZOI. It's kind of carved out its own little niche. So let's wait until December till we can play it, get a feeling for how it compares, but I think this is gonna be a great addition to the life simulation genre. Okay, moving on to our next genre, that is for the builders. So INZOI definitely will go straight into the building category. I've done a few videos on building specifically. I'll leave those linked down below. INZOI just has a great build catalog, so I'll let you check those out. But another game I'm adding to this category is House Flipper 2. Quickly jumping into my personal file of House Flipper 2, I have loved this game. In evenings after a long day of work, just to relax, it's got such a nice slow pace. This is what my house looks like in House Flipper 2. So yeah, the name of the game speaks for itself. You're basically flipping houses, but you have your own base. So this is my house, and this is where you kind of come back to after all of your quests. And this is also kind of a fixer-upper. So you start with a really rundown house. This is my daughter's bedroom, and then you have to fix it up as you get more and more money for all of the jobs that you complete. So I have $173,000, and with that money, I'm renovating my own house. So if you go down to your computer at the bottom, this is where you find all of your jobs. So you can read through all of the different client requests. A few of them are more cleaning based, a few of them are decorating, a few of them are building. This one looks interesting. It's kind of decorating for Christmas, so let's check this one out. I think House Flipper 2 is great for builders because, I mean, look at the beautiful graphic style of this. This is very Christmassy. I've actually not done a Christmas one myself. I love the art style of this. So this one also requires a bit of cleaning. As you can see, there's some dirt in the kitchen. Yeah, this is just one of hundreds and hundreds of client briefs that you can pick from. And then, as I said, after you complete a job, you just go back to your home. and start all over again. Okay, moving on to our next game in the building category. This is Planet Zoo. So there's a few options. You could do Planet Coaster or Planet Zoo. Obviously one is theme parks and one is a zoo. I've always loved Planet Zoo. I played this a lot on stream just because of the animals. I think it's really sweet. If we jump into my zoo, this is Cider Oak. This is a zoo that I have been working on for years. So every single object is placed down one by one by the builder. It is very intricate. The customization is next level. So you've got color wheels and, you know, everything down to the placement of grass and bushes and rocks. And yeah, you can do smoke, you can do sculptures. Obviously everything is centered around your animal enclosures. So you have this, what's it called? It's like an animal database. And from here, you can kind of have a look at what animals you want to put in your zoo, and then the species data, what they require, how many in a group. And then from there, you can really go and customize it. So obviously animal care is very important for the game. So if you put your animals in too small of an enclosure, then you will have protesters come to your zoo. If you put two species that don't like to be together, then you'll also have protesters. Same if maybe the wall height on one of your enclosures is too small, animals can escape. So it is fairly realistic. You do have to kind of respect the requirements of each animal. This is a waterfall actually that we built on stream. And wait, oh my God. Okay, so I've gone into the waterfall. I really hope that you guys can see this. We made an underwater enclosure, or I don't know if underwater is the right word, but it's like a cave. We built in this slushy or coffee stall in the rocks, which I think is so cool. So yeah, Planet Zoo is an amazing game for builders. It definitely requires a little bit of patience, especially at the beginning when you're kind of learning all of the controls. So there's a bit of a steep learning curve, but if you kind of take your time with it, not too much pressure, there's a couple of tutorials as well, eventually you'll get the hang of it and the payoff is highly rewarding. Okay, that is the end of our building category. Now we're moving on to challenges. So if you play different challenges in The Sims 4, like the 100 Baby or Rags to Riches, then maybe you like quest-oriented gameplay, so gameplay with a purpose, slightly different to the normal life simulation genre. We're gonna kick it off with Coral Island. So this one leans more into the farming sim category, but you basically are following and navigating through a bunch of quests as you slowly build up your farm. Okay, so this is my Coral Island game. We are on year 1 fall, so still very early in the gameplay, but I'll show you how my farm is looking right now. So it is your classic farming sim. If you haven't played a farming sim before, the idea is you're building up, you usually have like this massive space to work on with plots of land for gardening, and then you make your money in a few different ways. So we're turning our vegetables and fruit into gems. There's also a bunch of resources, rocks, wood, ores, and you turn those into bars, different things that you can also sell. We have animals, so we have, what's this, mayonnaise, we have cheese. There's a lot of main storyline and quest stories that you can follow, but also in your own free time, you're building up your own farm. So I always find that there's so much to do in this game. I'm never bored, and you can take it at whatever kind of pace you want. Okay, moving on to another game in the same category is Disney Dreamlight Valley. This one is also a bit of a farming sim, but I think moving slightly away from farming, more towards life, kind of somewhere in the middle actually. And of course it's got all of the Disney characters. So let's jump into this one. Okay, welcome to Disney Dreamlight Valley. So this is my valley, and I'm quite far ahead in the main storyline actually, so I'm hopefully not giving away any spoilers. But the idea is that you're decorating a valley from absolutely nothing, and then one by one all of the different Disney characters move in. If I actually just press menu, you can see all of these characters. You might recognize a lot of these faces from different Disney stories and movies. So this is very quest oriented. This is actually more quest heavy than I would say Coral Island. Coral Island may be more about the farm. This one is a lot of resource gathering. So it's got all of the classic fishing, mining, farming. It's got all of those typical things, and you're gathering as much as you can and kind of doing different quests for the Disney characters. I've sunk a lot of hours into this game, and yeah, the storyline has been really fun. There's DLCs coming fairly often, so there's new content being added to the game, and I just think this is a good, feel-good, Disney-themed farming sim. Okay, our last game in the challenges category is Palia. So Palia is an MMO, which is an online multiplayer game, and it's a classic farming sim with all of kind of the fishing, farming, foraging things that we love. But this game is really beautiful. Okay, so welcome to Palia. We're currently exploring the map, and I just wanted to show you how unbelievably beautiful this is. So as I said, it's just a lot of your classic farming sim gameplay with foraging, there's hunting, but the world is beautiful. It's a huge map to explore. So this is just one map actually, but there's a whole nother side to it. I'm gonna take us home so I can show you my progress there, but I think Palia is also a great kind of first entry into a farming sim if you've never played one before. The fact that it's multiplayer gives it a completely different energy to something like Coral Island, for example, because the map just feels alive. It feels like there's real people wandering around and doing different things, and you can work together with your friends, you can work with strangers. So yeah, it's just a very different version. This is my plot, by the way. So each person has their own plot. This is my gardening. This is my main house. This is where I live. It's very cozy. Isn't this like the perfect fall game? It just makes me feel so cozy, and it's so warm, and I just wish I was living in an environment like this. Yeah, this game is really beautiful, super relaxing. There's quests, there's your classic farming sim stuff, there's the multiplayer side. So I think this is a game you'd really get stuck into, and there's a lot to explore. Okay, we are moving on to our last category of this video, and that is the management games. So I've got 3 games to suggest to you here, 3 quite different games actually. Kind of comparing this to The Sims, I would say management games are great if you like the kind of controlling aspect of The Sims, so controlling what they do, where they live, what career they have. If you like kind of having that micromanaging aspect of a game, then check out these management games. Let's start with City Skylines. I'm actually gonna jump back into City Skylines 1. There is a City Skylines 2, but if I'm being completely transparent, I still feel like my favorite is City Skylines 1. I just have most of the DLC for that one, and I think sometimes it just takes a couple years for a second version to kind of catch up to where the first one finished, if that makes sense. So we're going to City Skylines 1. So we've jumped into the game, and I realized I actually haven't played this since I got my new PC a couple weeks ago. So I've had to download one from the workshop on Steam. I will leave the creator's handle somewhere on screen, the name of the map, but this map is incredible, and it just gives me a really good base to show you guys how the game works. So I mean, it's City Skylines. It's a classic. You basically are building cities from the ground up. You are literally just starting with this little road here, 2 roads actually, the connection to the outside, usually like a motorway or something. And you start, probably this was the first area that they started with, so something small, residential. You might do like a line of, oh, what do they call them? I've forgotten. Commercial zone. You might do like a line of shops and the residential areas, and then you have to do an industrial area. Where are there industrial? I think this is industrial. And you'll need to link up your water source and your sewage, electricity, and then eventually you'll unlock a bunch of different buildings for your map, and that is how your town grows into a big thriving city. So your money can be depleted so quickly, you'll find yourself to be so broke, and then I don't know, you can raise taxes or do something that gives you a little bit more money to build a hospital, for example. So yeah, it's a constant battle of your resources, but it's really stimulating, it's really fun, and you can play it at whatever pace you want. Literally, you can kind of do ×3. Oh, I had it paused this whole time. You can do it ×3 or just play it, you know, super slowly, so you're always kind of on top of everything. Okay, next up we have Fabledom. This is a fantasy life kind of management game where, similar to City Skylines, you're building up your map and your civilization, but this game is, I would say, a little bit more easier to digest, so it's not too overwhelming. interesting to balance all of the different elements. There's a little bit less management in this game, but it's super pretty. Okay, jumping into the game, this is what my village looks like, or it's actually way more than a village. This is called Valhalla. I'm pretty far into the game. I've sunk a lot of hours into it, but just to give you a little tour, I guess. This is our ministry. This is our castle. This is our army, I guess, that sits outside. We have all of the different zones, and I decided to kind of have a grid style for this section, so everything is very neatly organized. And then we have a little bit more of our industrial area. So we have the farms, juicery, stone quarries, windmills, chicken coops. So honestly, this was, oh my God, a labor of love. Probably a year ago, I think, I really got into this game. So very simply, that is Fabledom, but there's a lot more to this game. You can see all our resources up here. There's trading that you have to do with different territories, and there'll be kind of different scenarios that you have to kind of problem solve. So there's a lot more to this game, but kind of a different alternative to City Skylines. Okay, and we're on to our last game of the video. This is also a management game, and it is a fairly new one. You might have heard of it or seen other creators play it at the moment, and it is called Town to City. So it's another management game, but it's got a little bit of a different twist to City Skylines or Fabledom. So it does kind of work the same way as the others. It's a management game, and the idea is that you're building up your town from nothing, and this is what about 4 or 5 hours of playing the game will get you. So for me, where this game shines is its art style and its lighting. Look how stunning this is. So as you can see, it is kind of Minecraft cubic box style. So I guess in summary, it's the same concept. So we have these houses. I'll just build a house actually to show you. Let's build a house here. So we have under here, we have houses, and we're gonna build it right there. And our money is down at the bottom here. We're actually quite rich at the moment. And then you can take a road, and we're gonna just connect it to the main street. And a family needs to move in. We have 3 families that want to move in. They want a comfortable house, so let's put them there. They'll start walking their way over to here, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna do a bit of decorating. So we're gonna do some trees. I have it set on random, so it will just give us a bunch of random trees and plants. And then let's take some flowers, like so. Scatter some flowers. So that's an example of a house. And then you'll have some commerce. So we have some market stalls somewhere like over here. We actually need another member of staff for the cheese stall. So we have cheese stalls, we have a restaurant, bistro, and yeah, we're slowly building it up. So I've just added this new area up here. We've got a maze, which was really fun to build, and we have a park, or a lake actually. So yeah, this is our final addition to the management game category. Town to City, it's fairly new, so there'll be lots of new content being added. The game will be evolving over the next year or so. So if you like the look of this, I highly recommend. So that is it for today's video. That is a lot of new games and content for you to check out. Please let me know what you think of any of the games that I've mentioned. If you have any more suggestions to these categories, also let everyone know. I think I might do a Nintendo Switch version of this video because there's just a couple of different games that I would have loved to have included, but they are kind of Switch exclusive. So yeah, let me know if that would be interesting for you, but I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!